What is going on? So I went to this meeting this past weekend where we heard some stories about where animal rights activists have come from and how they got to where they are. But 2 days later, after the fact, the Niagara County Sheriff's Department decided to go and issue a warning to local farmers about this, about how we might be going out there to rescue animals. Oh no. And the response was not very surprising. Local farmers are the solution to the horrors of huge industrial farming. Animal activists should be champions of small local farms, not adversaries. This is the definition of someone that thinks that welfarism is the problem. And if we do it in a good way, that will justify killing these animals. This is exactly what Peter Singer does. It's exactly what Alex O'Connor, Cosmic Skeptic, does, where he is worried about factory farming and how there's suffering going on. But that is actually beside the point. Like, if this was 300 years ago, yeah, I'd be horrified by the whipping of slaves and the transportation of them across the sea. A lot of them die on the way here. It's like, yeah, those are all horrific. But at the end of the day, it's really just fundamentally about the act of enslaving. Because guess what? We could ship them nicer. We could choose to not whip them. At the end of the day, the act of enslaving is evil. At the end of the day, taking these animals' lives, breeding them into existence, and just to take their lives, that's the problem. It's not how we're doing it. It's not the factory farming that's horrible. I mean, it is horrible, but that's not the actual issue at hand. It's the usage of these animals. It's looking at them as if they're commodities for us to use, they're things, and not sentient beings. This needs to stop. We need to have a paradigm shift where we understand that the use is the problem. It's not how we're using them, it's that we are using them. There are no conditions that are going to make it okay to breed an animal into existence just to kill them. It's as simple as that. So no, you're not my, what does this person say? Oh, a champion? We're not going to go and look at small local farms. Your cute marketing terms make you feel better, but they don't make the animals feel better when they're being killed. Doesn't make it more ethical. Judy says, people need to find other things to do with their lives other than interfering with others' lives. Oh, the irony, because the only reason why vegan activists are out here is because you're interfering with others' lives. John says, wasn't cattle rustling a hanging offense at one time? Should bring it back. So this person, in their eyes, steals a cow, and you should be hung for it. I can only imagine what should happen to you if you, I don't know, did some like white-collar crime and stole millions of dollars. Like, what would happen to you then? If you're stealing, according to the farmers, it's $3,000 worth of cows. Like, $3,000 and we're going to hang people. If that's not an overreaction, what is? I don't know. This is crazy. Legislator Sean Foti of the 14th District also put out a statement on the Niagara County Facebook page. This starts off on a great note.
New threat, vegan extremism.
Vegan extremism. This reminds me of a picture I post all the time. If you kill a dog, you're a psychopath. If you kill farm animals, you're normal. And if you kill nothing, you're an extremist. What's of course really extreme is killing 200 million land animals every day and billions of marine animals day in and day out. Cutting off heads is extreme, Sean. That's what's extreme.
Which it sounds odd, and I'm sure some people are, kind of confused or whatever, but I guarantee you it's not a laughing matter. It's extremely serious. My neighbors, my residents, people I've grown up with my whole life, just on Sunday morning walked out, and there were people walking around their barns taking pictures of their cows, their cattle, the babies, gates. They're surveilling their properties. They're having rallies and discussing how they're going to break into these farms and steal their livestock. It's an active threat. The sheriff's aware of it. Law enforcement is aware of it. But I think it's something that's really going to affect a lot of us, not just, my district, but we're a rural community. We're right to farm.
More like a right to kill area.
We're ag extensive. We put a lot of time, money, and pride into our agriculture. We promote agritourism, agribusiness, and my neighbor, actually, I just stopped by there today. after work to discuss, talk to them more about it. They're scared. They're scared for their lives. They're
Scared for their lives? How incredible is this? Let me know the next time when a vegan goes and ever harms a farmer. Has there ever been one documented time where a vegan has killed a farmer or even like assaulted a farmer? I mean, maybe it has happened somewhere. But once again, I've never seen evidence. I've just seen farmers talking about it. It's never in writing, a threat. It's never on video of an actual threat or physical assault. Oh, but you know who does have evidence of threats of violence? Me, on this very page.
And they just issued a press release alleging that animal advocates are engaged in unlawful conduct, and the result is a huge torrent of homicidal rhetoric. People saying that Tracy should be hung, Tracy should be shot, mentioning the caliber of bullet they're going to use to kill her. But people have actually descended on her property. There are over 100 people doing a home demonstration at her property. People trespassed onto her property in vehicles and did donuts on her front yard. At the same time, there are messages coming in constantly to her on email, on Facebook, and other social media saying that she is going to be killed. And homicide, unlike compassion, is a crime.
family members have received threats. Another farm in my community, there are death threats on their children who are under 10 years old.
This one's incredible. I would love to see the threats on children under the age of 10. I would love to see it. As per usual, he's just talking about threats, never provides evidence for threats. I've seen videos from like 4 years ago in England and all these other places where farmers are going and saying that there's threats, and they never provide evidence. It's always the same thing. Provide me some evidence of this. Because guess what? I would go and condemn it and say we shouldn't be using threats of violence. But I don't ever see that there are threats of violence.
So it's really, really nasty. It's something that's I think we need to do anything that we can to combat it, to be proactive on it. People are going to get hurt. This is hurting our farmers. It's hurting them wanting to continue what they do. These are family farms that have been in generations. It's already very difficult to farm, and then to have threats against you, basically just on an ideology, I think it's terrible. It's terrible that we're even here. It's terrible I even have to talk about this.
You're more concerned about perpetuating violence to the animals over actually documented violence towards Tracy and her supporters. People might get hurt from this. Shameful, just shameful, that an official would spread rumors and antagonize a whole community against another. Exactly. All it's going to do is incite fear, and now people are going to go and be looking outside their homes, and anytime there's any movement, they're just going to start shooting. You're more concerned on protecting the financial interests of farmers over protecting actual human life. And of course, the lives of animals. As I expressed in my other video about Tracy, it's like the Wild West out here now, where people take it upon themselves to harass Tracy on her property. It's like this jarring reminder that the civilized society that you think that we live in isn't that civilized and is like one step away from inciting violence onto people that they disagree with.
We think we've come so far. Torture of heretics, burning of witches, all ancient history. Then, before you can blink an eye, suddenly it threatens to start all over again.
At the end of the day, we can't let folks try to trample on our rights and try to silence us through intimidation. I would advise everybody to learn the rights that they have in their area, whatever country they live in or whatever state, and make sure that no one tries to go and stop you from doing what you're legally allowed to do. Learn your rights in your area and just stay strong, because people will always try to go and silence us because they want to keep doing what they're doing, which means animals die by the billions every day.